Good morning, folks, and welcome aboard the King Air 350. Got a group of 6 picking up here in White Plains, New York, and be flying them up to Piseco on about a 50-minute flight for a skiing trip up in the lower Adirondacks. Currently, we've got ceilings reported around 2,500 feet according to the graphical forecast. We've got no weather stations up there, so we're just using the computer models to make our best guess of what it's going to be. The ceilings are showing right now just above the circling minimums for the RNAV approach into Piseco, which means this is going to be a very interesting approach. We may or may not have to divert to an alternate here, but we'll see. Should be a very fun flight, so sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and as always, thanks for flying with us this morning. I already verified all passengers aboard, fuel's on board, and all ground equipment is removed except for the power cart. So we're going to go ahead and do the engine start checklist now. Gen ties are going to be set man closed. If it's nighttime, it's not nighttime, so that's not required. The voltmeter set to external power. Oh, and we are going to turn the master lights on too, and verify we've got 28 volts set there. Center bus verified is again at more than 20 volts, so that's good. And then the external power annunciator down here needs to be on and set steady, which it is, and the engine anti-ice verified is on. Left engine verified is clear. We're going to give them the signal. We're firing up number 1. The reason we're firing up the left side is because the GPU is physically on the right side and we don't want to prop blast our poor linemen too much. So we gave them the signal. We're going to go ahead and set the ignition, left ignition on. And turbine is increasing. Once that hits 12%, we're going to add fuel. If there's more than 12, we're going to bring you to low idle. And looks like the turbine is still increasing. ITT is increasing. Prop RPM's increasing, torque's increasing, watching for a hot start there. It's gonna max out at just about 720, maybe 730. Once that hits 60%, ignition comes off. There's 60, ignition coming off. It looks like this engine's stabilizing, ITT stabilizing, everything looks good to go. Alright, great, we're gonna go ahead and reset the left generator. We're gonna turn external power off, and we can see that's flashing, which is good. And then we're going to go ahead and disconnect the power cart. We'll give them the signal. Alright, power cart disconnected. GPU light verified is off, and we've already reset the left generator. We can verify up here. Yep, left gen producing at 28 volts, and the battery verified. Yep, is showing 0, so that's good. Right engine, we're going to go ahead and bring the left condition lever to high idle for the startup. Prop area clear. We'll give the ground crew signal. We're firing up number 2, and we're going to go ahead and swipe you up to right ignition on. Turbine's increasing. Once that hits 12 again, you can see that prop starting to spin. There's 12. Let's go ahead and refuel to low idle, and you guys can watch that start to go. Verify. Yep, turbine's increasing. ITT's increasing. Watching for a hot start. And it looks like once again around that 720 range is where that's going to cap out at. Everything else is starting to level up at 60%. Turn the ignition off. And once this stabilizes, we'll reset the right generator, verify that it's good to go. There we go. We should be good now to reset that right generator. Pull the checklist back up. I'm going to go ahead and close this window so we can actually hear what we're doing. And let's see, aerial temperature and pressure both sides look good. We're going to go ahead and bring you back to low idle as well on the left side. And if we go up here, right generator, yep, that looks good to go. Battery looks good. So now we just need to continue with our after start items here in a second. So I've got the flight instrument set to 3015 on the altimeter. The current winds are at 260 at 8, so we're going to be taxiing to runway 34 today for departure out of White Plains. I'm going to go ahead and release the park and brake, tap the brakes. And looks like the brakes are working good. We'll turn that taxi light on, wave our marshalers goodbye, and let's get the hell out of here. Now we're going to be taxiing runway 34, give us 6,500 feet. Winds again at 260 at 8, so just a very slight crosswind, but nothing we can't handle. We're going to be a V1 of 96, VR of 102, and a V2 of 107. Runway heading 343 up to 400, and then when we're able, we'll start that right-hand turn. Now we're going to be above 400 by the time I have everything turned on, and so basically just when able, make that right-hand turn on course direct Carmel. Initial altitude 10,000, then our first cruising altitude will be flight level, or sorry, just an altitude of 17,000 feet. Anything goes wrong on the runway, we are applying hard braking and stopping on the runway. Once we hit V1, we are committed to takeoff. We We will rotate at V2 and climb out at or above V2. Runway head in, declare an emergency, deal with the issue in the air. Otherwise, like I said, runway head in when able. We'll start that right-hand turn on course. And I will warn you guys, I'm still getting very used to the King Air. That's part of why this video is a little bit informal. I'm just kind of trying to feel my way out on this thing. Exterior lights, I'm just going to turn the strobes on. Landing light will come on here once we're ready to take off. And auto ignition is coming armed. We'll hear it start to go in the background a little bit there. Auto feather needs to be set armed. The annunciator's checked one more time. Oh, the pitot heat should be on too. Otherwise, yep, everything else looks good to go there. Head-in flight directors are already set again once we take off. In fact, actually, let me just pre-select heading mode. There we go, heading mode selected, and once I take off, I'm going to turn climb and autopilot engine on, and hopefully that'll work. Keyword hopefully. I'm still getting the hang of this thing a little bit. Head-in's flight director set, props are full forward, we're bringing you to high idle once we're on the runway. Crew briefing's complete, the transponder, I'm just going to set to ALT, not that it really matters, I'm offline anyways. Brakes are going to go ahead and be released, the engine anti-ice, we'll leave it on for now. We might enter icing conditions here in a second. Landing lights coming on, before takeoff checklist complete. Final verified is clear, the runway looks kind of clear to me, yep, that's clear, and we're cleared for takeoff for runway 34. So again, runway heading initially. Gotta be very careful with taking off this thing. It likes to really go on you. Almost reminds me of flying the Seneca back in the day. Alright, I'll go ahead and line this up. I know that this is like 10 times what a Seneca is like, but whatever. Alright, we're on the runway. Props going to full forward, 1 and 2. Give that a second to stabilize. Lights on. Runway verified with 3-4. I'm going to start to work you up. Holding down the brakes. And let this thing stabilize a little bit more. Alright, that should be good. Power is set. I'm going to release.
Auto feather lights on.
Yep, got to keep this thing on the center line here. It's a little squirrely. Knots. There's 60. We'll wait for the call out. V1 rotate.
Rotate.
And we're off the ground. Beautiful.
V2.
Positive rate of climb.
Positive rate.
Gear up, please.
Gear up.
Yep, bringing the gear up now. And she climbs just like that.
Check. Gear indicates up.
We're passing 400 now,
Flaps
so
up.
yep, we can work the flaps up. Fly the plane first. Always priority is to fly the airplane. I'm going to try to put
Flaps
climb on.
up.
And I don't think that actually turns the autopilot on, though. So we're flying runway heading, autopilot engine on, and now it's flying. Okay, so that's good. We're well past 400 now. Let me just go ahead and work the throttles down a little bit. There we go. Keep everything in the green here, and then we'll... Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to say flight plan direct to Carmel. Enter, enter, and now I'm going to hit nav mode down here. Nav mode. And hopefully, yep, that's going to start that right-hand turn on course. Beautiful. Everything else looking good here. Engines are in the green. We've got no icing conditions right now. Plane's climbing out itself beautifully. We'll go ahead and start to run through that checklist now that we have a second. Outside check, again, just making sure that there's no ice on the wings, really. We used to do this in the Seneca, too. We'd have to look out and visually inspect the wings for any ice, and that's good. Exterior lights are set. We just turned the taxi light off. We're passing 6,000 now. I'm going to go ahead and set you up to our initial 17. There we go, 17,000 set. And the climb checklist is complete. Next we'll be passing 10,000 feet. I ran the performance earlier, and it was showing that with no safety margin, I would just be able to make the landing in Piseco with a 3,000-foot runway. I forgot to add the fact that runway 22 has a negative, it's a very slight 0.3% downgrade and that brings me to 3,065 feet, which is barely more than we have aboard. Oh, and by the way, we need to do that step climb up to 17. And at first I was like, you know, it's kind of on the edge, but I can make a funny video out of it and say, well, you know, that's fine. Then I realized something. This would be very stupid in real life because our takeoff, there's just no way that we would, like, even if I set this to 0, there's no way we're taking off out of Piseco. We just aren't going to have the runway length. So here's what we're going to do is we're going to scam our passengers. We're going to scam our passengers. That's right. And we are going to land at Fulco instead. And we're going to go ahead and just call a taxi for them, right? Because that's what real sketchy charter operations do. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to do this very, very quickly because I am already almost over Albany, and Fulton County is just outside of there. So there's Fulco, except let me just go ahead and grab the approach briefing and run the performance numbers real quick. I could just say via Loro, and that'll give me a hold at Loro that it should automatically do. So we'll say via Loro, initial approach fix. We're going to say load. Yes, it's going to load the approach at Loro, so we can just bleed altitude in that hold. Let's go ahead and plan for that. There you go, and with a 25% safety margin, I can set my markers here, and that'll give us 3,700 feet out of the 4,000 we have available at on runway 28 at Fulton County. So that's great. Why don't we go ahead and run the descent checklist now. So I'm going to set you down to 10,000. I'm going to hit IAS mode on down here. There it is, IAS mode. We're going to bring the throttles back to basically idle because we are in desperate need to descend. And we'll go ahead and start running through a checklist over here. So, destination weather check, the winds are 270 at 5. Winds are 270 at 5, 3,100 feet broken, and temperature -4, 3005 on the altimeter. I'll go ahead and set that up right now. Approach procedure, I'm going to go ahead and brief that in a second. Let me just go turn the seatbelt sign on, exterior lights. We'll just turn them all on right now, even though I know I'm not below 10,000 yet. Altimeter set. Descent checklist will be complete in a second once I brief this approach. We're taking the RNAV to runway 28 at Fulton County. The approach course is 284, and we got 4,000 feet of runway. Field elevation is an 881. Weather has been obtained. Missed approach will be up to 5,000 direct to ASCAV and hold up to 5,000. Luro will be 3,700, 2,500 for Ikat, and 1,640 for Yiyu. And LPV minimums will be 1131, LNAV VNAV 1141. It's a 10-foot difference. But if we're LNAV only, the MDA is a 1240. Missed approach, like I said, up to 5,000 direct to ASCAV. We are going to be in the hold here at Luro, so at that, as we pass Albany, let's go ahead and proceed ourselves direct to and activate the approach. And folks from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. Unfortunately, we double-checked the weather in Piseco, and it looks like it's actually IFR right now, which is below the minimums for us to make that circle-in approach that we would have to make to land at Piseco. So unfortunately, we are going to have to divert to Fulton County. We'll have ground transportation ready for you after we land. Sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of the flight. We apologize for the diversion. It was strictly due to weather and nothing else. Also, if you're liking this kind of content, please don't forget to like the video. It seriously helps out a lot. And if you're willing to, please go ahead and subscribe. I'm trying to grow this into a bit of a channel, and every subscriber counts. So seriously, it would help me out so much. Really appreciate your support. And if you have any comments or critiques, like me not checking the landing performance as thoroughly as I should have, well then, please go ahead and leave a comment calling me a dumbass below. Sit back, relax, enjoy the rest of your flight. Thanks for flying with us this morning. I'm going to go ahead and put the auto prop de-ice on. I believe it's just an electric boot for the prop de-ice, so it's basically like a little pad that heats up. The wing de-ice on this thing is a little bit different. Basically, you have to wait for a layer of ice to form on your leading edge, and then you activate the boot. That way it breaks it off. Otherwise, the ice is just going to kind of form around the boot, and the boot will do nothing. All right, into the soup now. Altitude alert. I'm going to bring you down to 5 now. In fact, actually, I think we might be able to not even do the procedure turn. We can probably just proceed direct to Luro. So we're in the soup now. Let's look outside. Any icing? Nope, not yet. Okay, good. And yeah, I think we're going to be able to actually just descend straight to 37. So if I press this, 3,700. Yeah, I think we'll be able to make this. We're just going to have to slow down a little bit. So we'll do the approach checklist now. One last time before I do that. Yep, we've got a little bit of ice out there, so I'm going to set you to a manual. There we go, and hopefully, there we go, it's getting rid of the ice. So we'll leave that on for now. Approach checklist, surface de-ice, we already have on, don't worry. Auto feather is checked, armed. Fuel balance checked, pressurization checked, and altitude and alerters checked. Flaps we're going to go ahead and set as I slow down a little bit here. So we'll slow down once we level off, and we'll intercept this approach into lower row. There we go. Looks like we just popped out of it. I'm not sure what kind of dome we have going on in front of us. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and still a minute out. I'm going to let it start to slowly slow down. Once we're below 180, I can bring the gear down, and in the wide arc, we'll bring the flaps in. I believe we actually have different flaps settings, by the way, in this thing. Like I believe it's posted that you can increase, put the first notch in before the 160, but I just don't remember what it is, so I'm just going to play it safe. Bring the gear down below 180 because we know that's a safe extension speed. That'll give us some more drag, and then I can add the rest of the flaps. That's going to be what I'm going to do today. Looks like we're back in the soup now. This is why you don't go, oh, and it's going to give me that hold, so why don't we just go ahead and say direct to enter, enter. There we go, great flight plan. That's going to put me back to that 2500 point. So we'll start that descent now. IAS mode's coming back on, and speed check below 180, gear down. And if I hit IAS, and yep, there we go, that's going to start to slow us down. So gear's down. You can see that added a shit ton of drag. And now the plane's going to start to descend a little bit. And now that the final approach leg is active, you can see LPV is, we've got LPV integrity, which is good. And that's going to give me a new minimum of 1131. So 1131 will be our minimums, and we're down to 1250 for ICAT. And we should be down there, no problem here in just 1 second. There we go, that's the 1250. Gonna add some power here. Oh wow, this is really IFR. Well, hopefully we don't have to go missed at Fulco. That'll be awkward, ladies and gentlemen. We had to go missed here as well. I mean, to be fair, it was reported VFR, so it shouldn't be too cooked if that happens. So it says we have LPV mins. I'm not sure if we're gonna get a glide slope though. You'd think, I mean, this is set to GPS. You'd think we'd be able to get a glide slope unless there's something else I need to set up here. Work a little bit of power out for the approach. Gear is down in 3 green though. If I don't, we'll just use the MDA of 1240. How about that? There we go. First notch of flaps coming in. Start to slow it down even more. Come on, please get me just in and out of this just once. That'll be great. Yeah, I just wish we had an actual glide slope, you know? Because LPV min should give you vertical guidance.
1,000 feet to minimums.
No, it's not. Oh, come on. I hate this thing, dude. 17, there you go. 16, you know what? Why not? I know that's technically a little below minimums. I don't want to hear it for ICAT. Yeah, there's no glide. This is annoying. So after ICAT, I just have to set to 1200 and hope that this works out for me. Because if not, there's not really much more I can do.
500 feet to minimums.
That's not our... Yeah, our minimums are less than that. I don't know what it's talking about. And is that ICAT? There we go. Watch that speed. It's going to try to get down. Okay, there we go. That's ICAT. I can set you down to 12 now. And now we're going to start a descent again on IAS mode. Work some power out. It says we're only 30 seconds from the missed approach point, so I have a feeling I am going to go missed here in a second. I just have a feeling. Yeah, that's not minimums. I don't know what it's talking about here. Alright, there's 1200. Alright, it says minimums. That's, we'll just level off here. There we go, 1240. Yeah, I just wish it gave me vertical guidance, dude. Doesn't really matter. I don't think we'd be able to make this approach anyways. And waiting for that missed approach point now. Where's the VDP on this? We're coming a little bit fast anyways. I need to slow it down. I'll work full flaps in just in case we somehow break out of this. I don't think we are going to though. Give it some more power. That's 120. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. I'll keep this on standby just in case, but yep, we're about to hit that missed approach point. Set you up to 5,000 for the missed. Airspeed looks good. Yep, we're at the missed approach point. All right, and we're at the MDA and we still don't have it. We are going missed. So I'm going to set you up to 5. If it'll let me. Come on, 5,000. We're going to unsuspend that. We're on the mist, and I'm going to say climb mode on, adding full power. Gear is coming up. And first notch of flaps coming up.
Gear indicates up.
All right, we're going mist, boys.
Flaps up.
Climbing up to 5,000. Flaps all the way up now. And maybe I'll work power back a little bit more so that we don't kill the engine. There we go, good. Verify we're on climb mode, and this is going to follow that to ASCEV. All right, so we're going to enter that hold at ASCEV. How's my wings look? They look okay, great. And when we have a second, I'm going to run that missed approach check. All right, missed approach, props max allowable. Oh shit, I never set those. All right, I don't want to hear it, guys. Airspeed's already climbing out, and flaps are up, gears up. Really, that's all on this checklist. So we'll enter this at 5,000, and I might try to proceed to Albany. Not 100% sure. Let me just double check in a second once we hit 5,000 and see how it looks. What the weather at Albany looks like. Albany's reporting few 2400. Is this the latest one? Yeah, few 2400, broken 3100. Winds are 220, so we could try the ILS to runway 19er. That might be the best course of action. So let's go ahead and try to load that in. It says the weather should be better. If we have to go missed here, then we're just going to go back to White Plains. I think that's going to be the game plan here. There we go. All right, we're going to take the ILS to 19er via ME. Now if I just zoom out, there we go. I'm going to give myself a heading to kind of intercept before ME. How about that? And we'll brief this approach. And the MSAs here is 3,600. We're well above that. All right, great. So for the approach briefing, we're taking the ILS to runway 19er. If I just put the approach frequency in 109.5, yep, 109.5. Missed approach up to 2,000, then the left turn to 5,000 direct Cambridge and hold. The weather, latest weather is 220 at 3 knots, few clouds 2,400, broken 31. Let's hope this day remains the same. Altimeter is 3010 set. Emmy, you're looking at 2,000 or above, 1,600 for hockey. And then if we are a localizer only, it'll be 820 for Wheats. Otherwise, ILS minimum, or for West, sorry, ILS minimums will be 480, localizer MDA of 820. So hopefully that'll get me below this mess that we have here. I'm honestly not worried about the performance tables just because we know that this airport has 8,500 feet of runway, so I'm not worried about that. The only thing I'm worried about now is just fuel, because we are going to have to, if we have to go missed at Albany, we kind of just have to start heading south and land wherever we can. And folks from the flight deck, just to let you know, we are going to have to divert over to Albany now. Fulton County was a little bit too far away. We apologize for the inconvenience. We'll try to get you rebooked to Piseco as soon as possible. Thanks for your cooperation, and thanks for flying with us again.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Surface de-ice checked. I believe we still have the de-icing boots on, which we do. Auto feather checked, verified is armed down here, which it is. Fuel balance has been checked. The cabin signs are on. This needs to be set to environment low, actually. Approach briefing is completed. We'll go ahead and do that right now, actually. ILS to 19 or 109.5 on the frequency and 191 on the approach course, 8,500 feet set. We already checked the weather. I'm going to check it one more time. 2203, yep, few clouds 2,400, 3010 on the altimeter. 2,000 for ME, 1,600 for hockey, ILS minimums 480, localizer will be 820, missed approach up to 2,000, then the left turn up to 5,000. Let's go ahead and try to set this up to intercept now. We'll set it to like a 150 heading. Hopefully that'll work out for me. I hope. Maybe 160, and hopefully, yep, there we go. That's gonna swap. So great, we've got the localizer. Let's go ahead and descend. Now that we're kind of in this holding area, we would probably get that descent down 2,000. I see the ground, that's a good sign. And we'll go ahead and just drop it a little bit more then. So this down to 2,000. And there's the Northway too, and I know that'll take me to Albany. I mean, shit, worst comes to worst, we can just land at Saratoga. It's VFR right here. But, and we'll go to Albany for now, park at Millionaire, and that'll give our customers some better service too. And we see the glide's alive, we're below it, which is good. You always want to capture the glide from below, not above. There's 3,000, and in a second that localizer should start to come alive. There we go, localizer's alive. I'm going to go down here and say nav mode on. Come on, where are you? Nav mode on. And that should, because this is on VLOC mode, intercept. There we go, great. And I'll go ahead, and now that we're on the localizer, speed is checked below 180. I'm going to bring the gear down. There we go, this is going to level itself out at 4. I'm going to give it some more power. And we're just going to stay right here at 2 for now until we are on the glide. And I'm going to go ahead and set speed check below 160. The first approach flaps in. And approach checklist is complete. Before landing checklist, gear verified down in 3 green. Approach speeds are already set up, and the radar is not required. Engine anti-ice verified is on. Surface de-ice is also on. We're going to keep that on because we are flying through moisture right now. And the engine anti-ice is going to stay on for this landing, and before landing checklist has been completed. Alright, the runway is in sight. We're 1 dot above. I'm going to go down here and select approach mode. That should capture the glide, and once we have, we'll bring full flaps in. And there we go. I think we're going to make this landing here into Albany. There we go. Glide's captured. I'm going to go full flaps now. Approach speed, we'll keep it just around like the 110, and we'll bring it down to VREF of that 103 once we're a little bit lower. I'll bring some power out. I guess the flaps alone weren't enough to help slow us down there. Minimums are 480.
1,000 feet to minimums.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. There's got to be a way to set minimums somewhere in here, right? So that he actually says the right minimums. And for the missed approach, it's going to be up to 2,000, and we'll set 5,000 on standby, since ultimately, if for God knows what reason we have to go missed. I don't think we will, though. There's just below, there's 900 to minimums. Give it a little bit more power here. Don't like how much this speed has been bleeding off on me.
500 feet to minimums.
And verified props going full. Gear down, 3 green, mixture set. So that's what I forgot last time, was bringing those props forward. And gear down, 3 green, flap set, missed approach altitude set, and all the lights are on. We'll throw the taxi light on too, why not? Great. Starting to slow it down now. That's going to be about 500 to minimum. So here, I'm going to go ahead and take the airplane myself now. That's usually what I like to do, is 500 before minimums. I take the airplane.
200 feet to minimums.
And we'll add a little bit of power here. Take the master caution off.
100 feet to minimums.
He's going to call out minimums, but I kind of disagree with that. Little bit of power here. We're just getting a little bit low on the glide here. Good crosswind. And maybe we should have taken one runway 28, but I don't know. This is going to work out for us, I think. This isn't much of a crosswind, just a little bit of ailerons into the wind here. That'll do it. Come on, a little bit more power here. You can see we're just sinking a little bit. Maybe it's because I have the anti-ice on. Maybe that's why we're getting a little less power than normal. Everything's looking decent, though. And we're about to cross over the runway. Start to work the power out a little bit, but don't chop it all. We're at VREF, so this is going to be okay. Start to hold this up. Start to hold this up. And power all the way out. That might have been a touchdown. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and put beta mode on. Nose is on the ground. We're going to go ahead and bring reversers in. And I'm just going to go idle, reverse, and here's what I like to do, is I like to bring both down to low idle while I'm in reverse, and then take the props out of beta. And why don't we go ahead and plan on, that's a runway, so we'll take this next taxiway, exit over here on Echo, and then we'll come to a stop and run through some after landing checks. So there we go, that's a safe landing here at Albany.
Props full. Props full.
Alright, clear the runway now. We're going to go ahead and stop right here. Bring it to a complete stop, and I'm just going to run some checklist items here. Flaps coming up. You guys are already low idle. The props are already set full. After landing, engine anti-ice is going to be on. Auto ignition can go ahead and come off. Your oh, that was the engine anti-ice, sorry. Engine auto ignition is coming off. Exterior lights, we're just turning landing lights off and strobes off. Your ice protection verified is coming off, so the prop de-ice, this can go back to off. Pitot heat can come off. And that should be good. We'll turn the window heat off as well. Trim, I'm going to go ahead and reset. The flaps are up. Transponder can stay how it is. Bleeds are going to go back to off. And pressurization differential checked. And we're going to go ahead and taxi over to Millionaire. We'll park it right here for now. Parking brake's going to go ahead and come on. if it'll let me. There we go. Parking brake's on. And going to the shutdown items. Parking brake verified set. Electric heat verified is off. We'll go ahead and just turn all these off. The EFIS is coming off. The FMS is off. Oxygen handles, gonna go ahead and kill that thing. Battery verified up there is charged, which it looks like it is. The inverters need to go ahead and come off. Avionics power needs to come off. And cab temps off. ITT stabilized. We're gonna go ahead and kill the fuel shutoff. We're gonna bring the props to feather, and then we're just gonna go ahead and kill the electrics there. That's gonna do it, everybody. Welcome to Albany. So I guess when I turned on replay mode, my nose wheel is now fucked. I don't know what to do about that, but oh well, I can probably go into settings and unfuck that later. Obviously, one pretty big issue there, I just literally should have been a little bit more due diligent on my performance calculations there. Either way, I don't think we were going to make it to Piseco given how low those ceilings were at Fulton County. Usually Piseco tends to be a little worse and it has a lot higher minimum. So, end of the day, passengers, did they get a little bit scammed? Yes, but who cares? They're safely on the ground in Albany. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Like I said earlier, please go ahead and give the video a like if you enjoyed, because it really helps out the video performance and the channel as well. And if you do enjoy this kind of content, subscribing seriously does help. So thank you so much for watching, and if you have any critiques, obviously let me know in the comments below. Hope you all have a great rest of your day, and of course, have a good one, everybody. See you around.